Hi, I'm Charlie Powell. I'm a climate change campaigner for Oxfam, and I'm going to be your guide over the next couple of weeks to the UN Climate Change Conference here in Poznan in Poland. It's the day before the conference begins, and we're in Pavilion 5, which is a huge arena, where we're putting up a major exhibition of artwork from around the world, which have been put together by communities who want to tell their story about how climate change is affecting them and bring those stories to the decision makers here in Poland. More about that tomorrow. But next to me is Antonio Hill, Senior Policy Adviser for Oxfam. I'm going to ask Antonio a couple of questions to set the scene. So first of all, Antonio, can you just tell us, why is Oxfam here?
Sure. Well, first of all, Oxfam's campaigning on climate change because we're absolutely convinced that addressing this threat that is climate change is a fundamental precondition for overcoming poverty. 30 years from now, when people look back, they're not going to really care how hard it was to cut emissions or how much money it cost. Climate change and its impacts are going to be counted in terms of human lives and the livelihoods of poor people who are affected today. This conference here in Poznan is a halfway point between the climate change conference last year that the UN held in Bali and the conference next year in Copenhagen. And Oxfam's here to push governments to take the bold and urgent steps that are really needed to put the international community on track to seriously addressing climate change and delivering a fair and adequate deal.
So, Antonio, what do those bold and urgent steps mean as far as the fortnight's concerned? So, at the end of 2 weeks, how will we know if it's been a success or not?
Sure. Well, Oxfam's looking for three things. I mean, first of all, we are looking to make sure that all of the negotiators here and a much wider slice of the public really understand that climate change is affecting people, and particularly poor people who are affected first and worst. Secondly, we want the governments to actually agree a timetable and an agenda for negotiations next year that will really demonstrate they're convinced of the urgency as well, that this is a problem that's just as important as the financial crisis that's affecting many countries and has even more serious consequences. Thirdly, we want governments to actually make this a turning point, so they're moving from talking, sharing, and exchanging views about the problem to actually negotiating an agreement that's actually going to provide solutions. That they're moving from recognizing the problem to actually action and delivering results. For example, on the issue of adaptation, we want governments not just to say it's important, as they already do, but to put some money in, even before the next climate regime comes into play, so that poor people actually have the resources to take steps needed to reduce the risks that they're now facing.
Okay, thanks, Antonio. Well, more from you later in the week, I'm sure. So tomorrow, join us again, and we'll tell you more about our Campus for Change exhibition, what that's all about, where the campuses come from, and some of the stories they tell. See you then.